What is this? Why is it so important? And why are there only two of them in existence? Welcome to my channel. It's me, and today we're going to look at the fire pen of the Ulchi, a tool of prophecy or prison of fate. Before we get started, I would like to say thank you to the supporters who made this episode possible. If you enjoy our videos and would like to support us, please check the description for links to our support page. The small village of Ulchi was once the center of an ancient civilization. The king of Ulchi was known throughout the land as the wise king because he had the ability to foresee his people's future. He used this gift for good, guiding his people into prosperity and protecting them from harm. But it wasn't an easy task. You see, the king didn't actually have any special powers. Rather, he was guided by these two mysterious pens that were crafted from the feathers of a giant bird that lived at the end of the world, and the ink that he used was created from the heart of a star that fell from the sky. So, although they looked like regular writing utensils, they were far from it. And when the king wrote with them, his quill, dipped in starlight ink, flowed across the page, revealing prophecies of the future. When the king first came into possession of the pens, he used them to help guide his people. But eventually, he became so enamored with the power that they offered that he began to use them for more selfish reasons. As the centuries passed, the once wise and benevolent king became more and more obsessed with the pens and their power to shape the future. He kept them hidden away in his palace, using them to ensure that his descendants would always remain in power. But as the power of the pens grew, so did the darkness within the king. He became more and more ruthless, using the pens to manipulate events to his advantage. He even went so far as to use them to harm those who opposed him. Before long, he had become a tyrant, ruling over his people with an iron fist. But the king's reign of terror would not last forever. One day, a group of rebels, led by a young woman named Yun Xianho, tired of the king's oppressive rule, launched a coup and seized the palace. They found the pens and, believing that they were the key to ending the king's tyranny, destroyed them. But as they watched the pens being destroyed, they realized that they were making a huge mistake. For the pens had a power that they could not control, and as the starlight ink spread through the palace, it began to reveal the future. And what they saw was not good. They saw a future where their rebellion had failed and the king's descendants would continue to rule. They also saw a future where the pens would fall into the hands of another tyrant who would use them to cause even more destruction. And so, in a last-ditch effort to save their world, they fled the palace with the pens, hoping to find someone who could use their power wisely. But they didn't know where to go or who to trust. And as the starlight ink continued to spread, the visions grew more and more urgent. But then they met a man named Li Yun Sang. He was a scholar who had heard rumors of the pens and their power, and he believed that he could help them. He agreed to help them hide the pens and also began to study them, trying to understand their power. But the more he learned about the pens, the more he realized that they were dangerous. He saw visions of the future that showed just how much destruction they had caused, and he knew that he had to do something to stop it. He devised a plan to seal the pens away, hoping to prevent them from ever being used again. He gathered the rebels and the pens, and they all went out into the forest. There, using ancient rituals and incantations, they sealed the pens away, trapping them inside 2 stone tablets. And with that, the threat of the pens was finally over. Or was it? For centuries, the pens lay dormant, their power sealed away inside the tablets. But then one day, a young woman named Choi Ji-woo stumbled upon them. She was a historian who had been researching the legend of the pens, and when she found the tablets, she believed that they were just a myth. But when she picked up one of the tablets, she felt a surge of power. Suddenly, she was seeing visions of the future, and what she saw was not good. She saw the same visions that the rebels had seen all those years ago, visions of war and destruction. And so she knew that she had to do something to stop it. But what could she do? She was just a historian, not a warrior or a mage. But then she remembered the story of Li Yun Sang. He had been the one who had sealed the pens away all those years ago. And according to legend, he had also been the one who had used the pens to see the future. So she set out to find his descendants, hoping that they could help her. She found Li Yun Sang's descendants living in a small village, and they were willing to help her. Together, they went back to the forest where the pens had been sealed away. But when they arrived, they found that the seal had been broken, and the pens were gone. Now, desperate to stop the visions, they journeyed to the capital city, hoping to find the pens before they caused too much damage. There, they met a man named Ru Jin, a powerful mage who had also been studying the pens, and he agreed to help them find the pens. Together, they searched the city, following clues that led them to the most powerful and influential people in the kingdom. And eventually, they found the pens in the hands of the king, who had been using them to try and secure his own power. But now, Choi Ji-woo and her allies confronted the king, and a battle ensued. In the end, the king was defeated and the pens were recovered. And with the pens back in their possession, Choi Ji-woo and her allies raced against time to undo the damage that the king had done. Using the pens, they were able to see the future and prevent disasters before they happened. They were able to stop wars and heal the sick. And in the end, they were able to restore balance to the kingdom. But as they celebrated their victory, they knew that their work was never truly done. The pens were too powerful to be left unchecked, and they knew that they would need to keep a close eye on them. And so they decided to split the pens between themselves, each taking one of the tablets with them. They vowed to use the pens for good, but they also knew that the temptation to use them for evil would always be there. And that is why there are only two of them in existence. As I'm sure you can tell, the story of the fire pen of the Ulchi is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power. It's a story that has been told and retold for centuries, and it continues to be relevant today. We live in a world where power is often concentrated in the hands of a few, and it's important that we remember the lessons of the past so that we don't repeat them. The story of the fire pens is also a story about hope. No matter how dark things may seem, there is always hope for a better future. The pens are a symbol of that hope, and they remind us that even in the darkest of times, we must never give up. If you enjoyed this episode, I highly recommend checking out our other content. We have a variety of videos on a range of topics that I think you'll find interesting. Thank you to our supporters who made this episode possible. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support us, please check the description for links to our support page. Thank you all for watching. Until next time.